99X. It's the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie deep in the holiday season. And Fram, I really have something I need to work out before going home.
Why is there so much drama you have around holidays?
That's a very good question. Would you like to give me some more money for therapy and I'll keep working towards an answer?
It's always about when you're going home for something.
Fram, it's been like this since the day I was born.
Well, give it up. What's going on?
Well, okay.
How can we help?
I didn't think you would give me the right answer. I thought that you would candy coat it and you would give me the answer that made me just move along.
Yeah, I'm kind of a candy coater, yeah.
I thought if I told you, you'd be like, and then it'd be over.
Try to work it out.
So I reached out to an expert. Her name is Allison. And Allison is an etiquette expert and is also an attorney. She's a doer of many things. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
You have a bazillion followers on Instagram, and my wife follows you. And when this situation came up, she said, you should probably follow my friend Allison. I was like,
Oh, an expert.
Who's Allison? And so I go to Allison, and Allison is everything etiquette. You do a lot of things, right?
I do. A lot of etiquette, things on hosting, hospitality, protocol, all of that sort of thing.
Perfect. So where are you based?
I'm based in Washington, D.C.
D.C.
Can I just ask how you got into this, though, about getting into etiquette? Was that something growing up?
Sure. It wasn't necessarily something growing up. It was my husband and I were engaged to be married, and I had some wedding etiquette questions that I didn't know the answer to. So I got my first etiquette book looking to find the answers to the specific questions that I had. And I found myself reading the book cover to cover and many books since then. And I've worked in television news and as an attorney and in government and private practice. And all along, I just enjoyed learning more and more about etiquette and got some traditional training. And my professional experience outside of etiquette informs what I do now in teaching others about etiquette and soft skills.
Man, you are
Excellent.
a doer.
Excellent.
What is your Instagram in case people want to follow you for the etiquette stuff?
It is at Elevate Etiquette.
And etiquette is hard to spell, man. I struggled when I emailed you. I think I spelled it like Edikate. I don't even know what I did. Anyway, so
There's a website too, Barnes, elevateetiquette.com.
So here's the question. I am going, reluctantly, to visit family in another city. And some other people may relate to this, not the reluctant part, but just the travel. And my wife said, well, how are we going to I need to bring a bottle of wine. I need to bring this. I need to bring that. All these things that we needed to bring. And I was like, well, we're checking a bag. So you can't, not checking a bag. So you can't put like a wine bottle. And plus that's risky anyway. It might break. And you're not going to put flour. Like, it's just so hard. Can we just go? And we're going and we're staying in a hotel. And so, you're putting out money to fly. And I'm speaking on behalf of anyone doing this, not just me. Money to stay in a hotel, money to travel. And then you show up at the gathering. The question is, what are you expected to bring?
That's a great question.
My theory, my answer was, we're bringing us, and it's costing money to get there. So there's your gift.
Heather's not thinking that, Barnes.
So, I really want to know, what does the law and etiquette say you have to do?
So for an event like Thanksgiving, especially because it's such a large event and a lot goes into hosting it, you don't want to show up empty-handed. But and that even applies if you are spending money on your travel to be there. But what you bring doesn't need to be at a specific price point. And it also depends whether it's a potluck or not. So if you're being asked to bring something, so in your situation, since you're not being asked to bring something for the meal, then you would want to bring something in addition.
Just the event is potluck, if you know what I'm saying. But
okay.
But I know Heather would like to come showing up, bringing something.
But guys, okay, I'm gonna elevate it for you.
Okay.
Elevate etiquette. Nothing. We're arriving at 10:30 a.m. on Thanksgiving, so nothing's open.
So what you could do is you could send flowers from a florist in the area. You could also send something after, so you don't need to show up with something on the day of. You could send flowers after the event, which also can be nice if the host maybe they have already figured out all of their decor for the event, so it can be flowers that they can enjoy after. That you
but then they're going to be pissed at you because they thought you didn't bring anything for the thing, and then you're going to leave.
You could let them know. You could say, we have a little something that you will be receiving in a day or two, or something like that. Oh. You could also bring them, sometimes people like breakfast goods, like you can bring bagels or like a breakfast bread or something that they could enjoy the day after. That can be especially nice if you know your hosts are having overnight guests. So oftentimes if they're hosting a big meal, they figured out everything for dinner, but breakfast they haven't really thought through yet.
What about football picks? Can I bring and give them free my picks for the weekend? That way they can make money and they can feel like they really got something from my visit.
Perhaps. Maybe if it was a very thoughtful thing that you did, maybe that could work for the right recipient.
Okay.
I like the thought about sending something in advance. That's a great idea. Even if it's like, you could even send some sort of dessert in advance or support some local business.
And especially with flowers or things like that, you can ask the host in advance if you could help them with that. So do you have a favorite florist? Is there something you have in mind? Could I send that a day or two in advance? And then in terms of consumables, if there's things that you could, I know you're not checking a bag, but consumables or food or drink, you don't want to bring something that isn't asked for by the host or the host doesn't know that you're bringing. So
you're making it very hard.
I'm making it very hard. Well, in this, if we're going to be really practical here, so you're flying, you don't necessarily want to carry anything. You're landing at 10:30 a.m. Not many things are going to be open. I would recommend probably sending something to them, which could be before or it could be after. It could be like a nice Harry and David basket a few days after your stay or something like that.
Fram, you were the queen of the baskets. By the way, we're talking to Allison, who is Elevate Etiquette on Instagram. She knows her stuff.
Just in general, Allison, I mean, just for Thanksgiving, let's just talk Thanksgiving, and you're going over to somebody's house, or maybe you're going over for dessert or whatever. I always feel like you should show up with something. And maybe alcohol isn't the right thing, but I like the idea of like a plant, like you said, or a flower.
Yes, a plant or a flower can be great. If you do bring flowers, you want to make sure they're in a vase or that basically they require no work on the part of the host, because the host probably has a whole bunch of other things that they're doing. And then you bring flowers that aren't in a vase yet. And then they need to find a right vase or something to put it in, where to put it, and trimming the stems. It can be a lot.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do.
It looks like you just showed up at the grocery store.
I got it. I'm going to bring them a puppy.
No.
They have two little kids.
No.
We'll just get a night. We'll help the Humane Society. Okay. Well, while we're on etiquette, Allison, is this bad? I'm trying to come up with things. We probably should have had a shrink on and you at the same time. We could have gotten through a lot of this.
We can do that next time.
Therapist should have, yes.
We might have, So is it bad for me to do like the classic square game where you have squares with different things? When they happen, you win a prize? Is that bad with relatives coming from, I'm being serious. Like, is that taken as offensive or fun?
Offensive or fun? I think it would depend on the crowd. I think games can be great on Thanksgiving, but it depends on the crowd. You have to kind of know your audience.
Yeah, when's grandpa going to fall asleep? When is the first kid going to get yelled at? Who gets a spanking first? Like stuff like that.
I'm sort of feeling like you should just show up and not say a word, Barnes.
That was my plan, actually.
Really?
I'm being serious because that is how I don't get in trouble. Fram,
exactly.
You're with me every day. Put me in an atmosphere like that and give me an open mic, it's not going to go well.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, Allison, could we have you on recurring? Would you like to come on and
I would love to.
Let's get some, hey, people, listen, we have an expert here. Maybe next month before Christmas break, compile your questions. If you have one for Allison, send it to us, hi@themorningx.com, and we'll compile some etiquette questions and then have you back on. You're great.
That'd be great.
That sounds great. Well, I hope it goes well at Thanksgiving this year with your family.
We all do.
We'll need more than hope for that. But have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and we'll hopefully see you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allison.
And it's at Elevate Etiquette on Instagram. Allison, say your last name, Shepherdick. Shepherdak. I got it. It's spelled funky. You laugh at me, but it's hard to do. Allison, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and that means getting together with family members who you might not see eye to eye with. But this Thanksgiving, Leslie Jones will come to your house and politely interject when the conversation becomes political.
I'm just thankful that Roe v. Wade was finally overturned.
That's the conversation you want to start right now at this table while everybody's happy during Thanksgiving. While we trying to be happy. You know what? Have some dry-ass turkey and shut the up.
It's insane.
The way I see it is your generation are all a bunch of lazy socialists.
Who is you calling lazy? You can't even bring proper pie to Thanksgiving. And stop kissing the kids in the mouth. That's nasty. They don't like that.
Talking to your family is hard. Watching Leslie Jones shut them down is easy.
And I think it should be acknowledged that this dinner is taking place on Cherokee land.
Shut up! All this land is Cherokee. If we talking about, can you spell indigenous? You can't even spell it, can you? Shut up!
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99.